الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. The first time I came to America, it was the election year. Reagan had just won the presidency. After that, for 8 years, I watched him act all the way until the end, kept acting. Then in the end, they were investigating that scandal, Iran, Contra, Israel, weapons, whatever it is that was. And then saw this man answering the questions by saying, I don't remember, can't recall. Who's this person? Can you tell me his name again or her name? Is that the topic today? It isn't. So when I came to America, it was the time when Reagan became president. And just about Christmas time, there was a show for, I think it was for electronics or some other type of show. I wanted to go and see it on the fairgrounds. And I didn't know that a section of the fairgrounds was also for another show, a dog show. People were coming with their family, including the dogs, and on leash, alhamdulillah. So many of the dogs were wearing suits. I noticed some of them were either wearing a silly pink hat. Some of them were wearing the whole thing. A silly pink hat and a silly pink suit, the dog. And a section of that show was, there was a chair, background behind him, the person on the camera, somebody's taking pictures. And there was an old man with a white beard like mine, wearing a silly pink hat, wearing a silly, suspicious looking pink suit, calling not for one, not for two, but for three hoes. Ho, ho, ho. I think they should ban this. And there was a chair, and he would sit on the chair, and then the people would bring their dogs and put the dog on the lap of this man to take pictures with him. And so I said to myself, we're here. Before that, when I was in Europe, I didn't really pay much attention to how these people are attached to their dogs. When I came here, that was one of the first experiences I experienced while in America. And first of all, Santa. I could call him Santa, just the first name. Now, the last name, Claus, this I have trouble pronouncing that. Claus. In Europe, they call him Klaus. Some Arab country, European country, Baba Noel. And no Baba or Mama here. But Santa Claus, I can't say it well. So why is it, to me, when I hear Santa Claus, I'm looking at the clothes. So I'm thinking, did they make a mistake in the spelling? It's actually Santa Clothes. Clothes. Look at the clothes he's wearing. And the dogs. I discovered early on, 44 years ago, how much Americans love their dogs. They love the dogs. They take the dogs everywhere they can now. even into restaurants. They buy them food, lots of food, medical expenses if they need, take them out for a walk in the neighborhood, in the park, many times not even on leash. And usually the dog would be the one leading, pulling the owner. Then the dog would freeze. There is a tree, there is a pole there is whatever to leave their mark. So they stop, and their owner is patiently waiting for the dog to leave little pyramids everywhere. The dogs live with them as a part of the family in their homes. In Islam, we're not allowed to have dogs at home except for protection, or somebody is blind, disabled, to help that person. Otherwise, we're not allowed to. So they leave the dogs, let them live with them in the house. They kiss the dogs on the mouth. And the most disgusting thing of my very disgustingly things, number one would be they let the dog lick their face. They let the dogs lick their faces. Yeah. They haven't learned how filthy, really, the dog's saliva is. Read about it. It's very, 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 very filthy. They let the dog lick their face. What's going on with these people? They even have graveyards for dogs. Some people have left some money in their will for the dogs. So what can I say? Did you ever hear of South Dakota? I mean, who's living there? Maybe 17, 18 people? I don't know. They actually had a governor, a woman, Republican, and I'm thinking they have enough people there to vote for a governor. Who's living in South Dakota, but really, who's living in North Dakota, even closer to Canada? What's there to live in for? Anyway, she's the governor. She used to be the governor. So this is shock number one, that there are enough people in South Dakota to vote for governor. She wanted to be on the good side of Trump. Trump is the macho man. She wanted to be the macho woman. As a freak meeting a freaka. I'm not talking about the freaka, the delicious Palestinian meal. No, it's a freak, a freaka. Brother and sister. Which one is the brother? Which one is the sister? You choose. But anyway, so she wanted to be on his good side. And even in this environment, knowing how people are attached to their dogs, so she wrote in a book that she wrote, this is shock number two. There are enough people for this woman to be voted into office in South Dakota. And that she wrote something. So in her own book, she wrote a few things. Number one, she shot a dog in the face with a gun, her dog. Now that dog, against, according to this South Dakota governor, ex-governor, couldn't be trained. She dragged the dog somewhere else in her farm or yard or whatever it is, and she shot the dog in the face. Not that the dog was on top of her and attacking her. You see, in the state of Virginia, where I live, we once were attacked by two vicious dogs, killers from the neighbors. They let them loose on us, seeing how we're wearing Islamic clothing. And so we didn't shoot the dog. It's two dogs. I still have the video. We didn't shoot the two dogs, but the police officers came and they were threatening, you can't shoot the dog. Because, if a dog is running towards you to attack you, you try to outrun the dog. Are you serious? Did you just smoke 7 pounds of pot or something? What's wrong with you? This is the law here. How am I going to outrun a vicious pit bull? Okay, P and the B. Okay, pit bull. You can't. And if you freeze, they're on top of you. And they killed a woman just a few weeks ago before this incident. An old woman, she was walking outside. She died. They didn't change the law. And it's incredible. So in this country, people love dogs. To show yourself that you're a tough woman, choose something else. So she shot the dog in the face. And then she shot also a goat because the goat smelled. Now, the media has been talking about it and talking, like even professional liars like Fox News and other media, NBC, professional liars. That's their story. She wrote in her book that she shot her female dog in the face and killed it. Of course. That's the story, because there's nothing else going on here in the world or in America. She shot the dog in the face. Another thing that she said in her book, that she met many world leaders. I mean, I'm having trouble acknowledging that most Americans even know what a South Dakota is. Dakota is friendly, that's the meaning. It wasn't friendly, South Dakota, for the natives. The Sioux Nation, they were exterminated, almost. Dakota, friendly, but those people who came were not friendly, they shot them. Which world leader met this woman? I mean, Americans tell them South Dakota, yeah, it's a name they hear. What's in there? They don't know. Who's going to go for vacation telling his family the whole year, wait until the summer or the winter, we're going to go to South Dakota? What? So she went and met a number of world leaders. I can imagine those world leaders, that the manager coming, and here is a woman. She's the governor of South Dakota. She wants, to meet you. South what? What's a South Dakota? She even said that she met the North Korean dictator, tyrant. And she looked him like this, And she said, I'm rephrasing here, I think, not exactly what she said, but she said the word intimidate. You don't intimidate me. You don't intimidate me. I am the daughter of a pastor. So she went to North Korea and met Kim Jong-un, numero uno in North Korea. And she told him, you don't intimidate me. That was the meeting. So I can imagine the translator for Kim Jong-un. Maybe starting at, this is my imagination, number one, they would tell him, hey, there is a woman from South Dakota. She's the governor. Governor. She wants to meet you. I can imagine his response. South what? Dakota. What's a Dakota? It's here. It's it says here, friendly. I just looked it up. Friendly. Okay. Friendly governor. South Dakota. Yeah. She wants to meet you. And maybe when she was talking to him, telling me, don't intimidate me. I am the daughter of a pastor. How is going to translate it to Kim? Like she's telling him, hey, Kimo, you don't intimidate me. I am the governor of South Dakota. I am the daughter of a pastor. The translator maybe found the meaning, maybe he didn't, maybe looked it up. Pasture. Hey, Kim, she's the daughter of a field where animals graze, guarded by dogs. And by the way, she shot a dog in the face and a goat because it smelled. I'm imagining, could have Kimo said to the translator, does Trump know that she wants to be his VP? Vice prisoner? President, prisoner. What's the difference? You see, many of the people who helped this man are going to jail. Does Trump know that she shot a goat because it smelled? Because he should tell his people, no, because I smell, Trump smells, inside and out. They love their dogs, those Americans, really. And they've been talking about the story and talking. Meanwhile, haven't heard the word Gaza. In English, they say gay, Gaza, Gaza. It's Gaza, it's not Gaza. It's not the female gas station, it's a Gaza, but it has become a gas station. Exploding all around them. Tanks, airplanes, drones, missiles, big guns, snipers. They just found a graveyard, a mass graveyard for about 350 Gaza people buried together, with some of them showing signs of torture, being shot. I haven't heard a single report about this except for one reporter. But the media, those progressives who are after Trump, mentioned it a little bit. They don't care much about Gaza. It's just Gaza, Trump, Gaza, Trump. This every day. At the Biden administration, they didn't talk about it even. 350. Yeah, that's the same person. Joe G. Biden. The G stands for genocide. Those Hamas people, they took children, Israeli children, cut their necks off and threw the heads away. What about the 350? What about the 35,000 civilian Palestinians who have been killed since October 7? Unarmed. Thank you very much, Hamas. No stockpiles of food, medicine, water. Thank you very much, Hamas. They came and killed 35,000, devastated the entire population. So many of those Palestinians were shot in the face, in the back. Anywhere the Jews could shoot them, they shot them. These 350, read about it. These are horrible people. But they didn't mention Gaza that much. in the past few days, maybe 10 days, this woman was invited to appear on so many like cable news and, of course, Sunday shows, TV shows. Did you meet Kim? I met a lot of, or a number of world leaders. I'm not gonna discuss. So, did you meet Kim? Well, I'm not gonna talk about details. Do you have another question? Did you meet Kimo? And tell him you don't intimidate me. Gaza. This is the topic you're talking about. Your money, Americans, who you love the dogs so much, your money, tax money, is behind all the weapons, the money that the Jews are spending, the weapons, technology, intelligence, bombs that the Jews have been using for decades and decades and decades and decades. And then October 7th came and they killed 35,000 people in Gaza so far, mostly civilians. More than a third of them children. That's more than 10,000. Heartless people. Heartless people. Heartless. They look like humans, but they don't behave like humans. Did the Biden administration say anything about this massacre that they did? 350. If Hamas did the same and they discover after they attacked outside Gaza, they discovered 350 Israeli women and children shot and buried in a mass grave, what would Biden do? He would go right away to Tel Aviv and start dancing. Let's kill them, the war dance. Let's kill him, let's kill him, let's kill him, let's kill him. These people have no humanity, really. Let me finish with this. I know it's a little bit like 22 minutes. You be patient, it's fine. You have the time to listen. In one of my books, Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad, the third edition is coming, inshallah. I wrote this after 9/11 here in America, 300 pages, comparison between the rulings of war, between the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran and Sunnah. Third edition is coming. I spoke here at length about some of the massacres the Christians have done to other people. Do you know that the first crusade, before they went out to Europe, towards the east to go to Jerusalem, to free Jerusalem from the pagan Muslims who worship one God, while the Christians worship three gods. So before they left, they said, hey, before we go, the Old Testament, the Jews, they killed our God. They started the first crusade by massacring Jews, men, women, and children. We reject that. Allah doesn't allow mischief like this, but the Christians are the ones who do this kind of mischief. Then they went all the way, the crusade that went all the way to Jerusalem, they took over. They killed so many people. You heard about it, read about it some more. They killed and killed and killed, and the city became red with the blood. They went to churches, killed the Jews, Muslims, and Christians who were taking cover inside churches, and they stole whatever they can steal from there. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And these are the Catholics. Biden is a Catholic. A good son for this kind of ancestor. So many Catholics in the world are against Israel, clearly. And they're horrified by what the Jews are doing with the help of the West. So in my book, I mentioned a report by some of the European observers who were writing about, what happened during the crusades, the first crusade, after all the killing they did, he said this only helped to solidify the feeling that the people of the East have about European people, that they have no faith. This is one of them, that they have no faith. Wait for the third edition of the Jihad book. islamlife.com, 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 islamlife. We have books there. I'm going to announce about the third edition when it comes, inshallah. We're working on it. And when you get there, there is a section for donation. We need to continue this work. We have books since Ramadan started until now. I finished 5 new books, completely re-edited. Inshallah, I'm going to need support so we can publish them. What should I say? A dog takes this much space from the same media establishments that were in the forefront of the wars against Islam and Muslims since 9/11. They're the ones. They were the cheerleaders, the one who kept saying. And then when the defeat came in Afghanistan and Iraq, causing trillions of dollars of losses, they would blame Bush, blame Cheney, blame whatever. I was here. Just because people don't have a remembrance span of attention, what do you want me to say? Of more than 3 days, it doesn't mean we don't know what you did. And by the way, this Liz Cheney, you remember what they did when Trump clearly lost. He's a damn liar. Lost the election. And my feeling is, even if they didn't cheat in the elections, maybe they should have, to keep this kind of animal out, but they should have kept both of them out. Biden and Trump at the same time. Anyway, so Liz Cheney was attacking Trump all the time, saying, no, this is the big lie, and this and that, acting like she is an honorable woman coming from an honorable father, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney. They caused the death of about 1 million Muslims. She says the same thing that Trump said. You were against Trump, we thought, and you lost your seat because of that in Congress. She said it is wrong for Biden to tie the aid to Israel to them not attacking civilian populations, like in Rafah, which the Jews started, by the way. Do these people even have humanity in them? Are they expecting anything beyond this life when somebody is at the time of death? What do they expect? Well, they expect the angels to dance in joy that you're going to be going to heaven now after all what you did against humanity. Wallah, they lack humanity. They're not human. They behave like animals. Even though Trump calls the immigrants animals, he's an animal, and his supporters and the others. We'll talk about this later, but what can I say? 29 minutes. The people of Gaza, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you and to judge with your infinite justice those Muslims who can help, but they're standing by and acting like nothing is happening. 35,000 less Palestinians, less trouble by 35,000 Muslims. And even some Christians were killed, and some of the old churches were destroyed. But the people here in the West, they don't care. Their weapons, their money, intelligence, their tanks, their airplanes, Israel is nothing. Israel is nothing. And unless the boss give them weapons and bombs, and they can't do much of this. They can't. So it's the West. Gaza, 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 Gaza. The dog, the dog, the dog, the dog, the dog, the dog. And Trump, 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 Trump. We're sick of it. And a large segment of the American public, by the way, has started to realize the inhumanity that was inflicted on the Palestinians by the Jews with their money and their weapons and their intelligence. They're starting to be sick of the Jews, really sick. Always asking more money, more weapons, intelligence. We need this, we need that. You're a superpower. I mean, you already showed yourself to be able to and willing to kill thousands and thousands and thousands of women and children. Oh Allah, give Gaza the aid and support. Those among them who died, by Allah's help and decision and mercy and infinite wisdom, they are, inshallah, Allah willing, are going directly to paradise. And the Jews who killed them at the time of death, if they don't repent from the massacres they did against human beings, and those who were killed, the soldiers who were shooting people, shooting civilians in the back, in the face, women, pregnant women, they don't care. I hope that they go where they say we're never going to go. Hellfire. They said, even if we go to hellfire, we're God's children and loved ones. Even if we go to hellfire, it's going to be just a few days, 10 or less. I hope that any Palestinian who was killed by any of these animals who were shooting civilians without any mercy, that the Muslims among them go to paradise and Allah shows them the animals, criminals who killed them going to hellfire in front of them. Say Ameen.